Welcome back to the broadcast. Our first guest this morning, Cody Johnson, has that it factor when it comes to singing and songwriting. Are you laughing because I said that about you? Did I embarrass you? Born in East Texas, Cody got a firm foundation from his family and his friends that really helped transform him into the successful recording artist that he is today. Does that make you uncomfortable when people say
No, it doesn't make me
like
uncomfortable. I just think it's funny. I giggle. It makes me happy. I must be doing something right.
What part of East Texas are you from?
I call Huntsville home now, but about 45 minutes east of there, it's a little bitty town called Sebastopol. Is where I was raised.
So what?
The name is bigger than the town.
Okay.
There's
Population?
population
200?
very little. No, less than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Now,
So what did your parents do?
My dad worked for the state of Texas prison system, and my mom is the county auditor in the county where I grew up.
Wow.
And they homeschooled you.
I homeschooled until I was about in the 7th grade, and I just kind of wanted to go be with the friends that I had and kind of try it out, and they were very supportive of it, and it worked for me. And you know, my brother, he liked to homeschool, and so he kind of stayed. It was just they allowed us to kind of choose our path.
Let me ask you, coming out of homeschool and then going into a public school system, maybe larger school that you're accustomed to, what was that like as far as socially transforming into that?
Well, you know, it's funny you asked that. I was just talking to Kevin Fowler's daughter the other night about she's fixing to do the same thing.
Yeah,
She's going
They've
from
got
homeschooling.
high school kids as well.
But they live near Austin, where it's a really big school. I graduated with the top 30 of my class.
Yeah. How many kids were in that class?
28. So when you're going to a 1A high school in the country, it's a little different. You know, it's a little different. I mean, I think that jumping into a much larger school setting nowadays would be a little tougher.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Now, the singing thing, when did that start? Has it been in your blood? Have you been singing and running around playing instruments since you were a kiddo, or is this something you...
Absolutely. This, like my whole family is. It always winds up around the piano or the guitar ever since I was a kid, and you know, sang in church when I was growing up, kind of Southern gospel stuff. And there was this marina, this bar across the lake where we lived, and I could always hear the country music coming across the water. And I couldn't help it. Music always wound up getting in the forefront, whether I was trying to rodeo or going to college, or if I was working for the prison, because I worked there for almost 6 years.
You worked for the prison, which is amazing.
It's amazing that I wasn't locked up there. Is what's amazing.
But did you interact with some of the prisoners, or, you know, I'm just wondering if, because you're a songwriter, I'm just wondering if some
you
of
got some
that
material there.
Yeah.
There's a song that I released a couple of years ago, or a year ago, so it's called Guilty as Can Be. And it's a story, a conglomeration of stories of things that I'd heard people say, because everybody's innocent. So I took a bunch of the stories that I had and I put them together, but nothing too personal to where it would divulge any information.
Yes.
But yeah, even that, I mean, I'm at work, supposed to be doing my job, and I'm thinking about how I can write a song about this story that I just heard these two guys. And that's to answer your question, that's it. I mean, music always winds up being in the forefront, and thankfully I chased it.
So stage fright was never a problem, and performing in front of these big crowds, because you're performing in front of huge audiences now, and I hear your concerts are so high energy, that doesn't make you nervous at all, does it?
Absolutely not. Now, I get more nervous
here.
in a setting like this, and then I'm not nervous. So that's the thing is, but the most nervous I get is a setting where it's more intimate, because I feel like, especially if it's like a songwriter showcase when it's just you and your guitar,
right?
You know, that's all you've got. You know, when I'm on stage, I've got all these guys to lean on,
make you look good.
Man, it's like fire to gasoline. You get these people going, and you get the crowd energetic, and that's what I love doing. Make them cry, make them laugh, make them dance, make them fight, make them do something. Just move them in some way.
Get them going.
So Cody, I'm curious. So you've been married 5 years.
Oh, we've been together 5 years. I think I've only been married 3. I hope my wife's not watching
Okay,
this.
so we talk about issues and things like that all the time on the show, and we found this article that talks about the things that only people who have been married for a while understand, like little tips. And I'm wondering if you have any, maybe for our viewers. Some of them are like the constant need for spontaneity. You know, you need to keep things spontaneous, which I'm sure you don't have a problem doing because your schedule's so erratic, right?
That's what I was going to say. Is like my schedule's been, for the first 2 years that we were together, I barely saw my wife because I was gone so much. But you know, she made a lot of sacrifices. She quit going to school and took 2 jobs so I could quit my job and pursue this.
Wow.
And as of right now, she's going to school online. She's not working. She's traveling with me as much as she can, and
she is traveling with you.
as much as possible. I mean, she doesn't like to go all the time because there's certain runs that get a little strenuous. But I gave this advice to somebody, actually my fiddle player who just got married. I said, no matter what happens for the first 2 years, no matter who says what or does what, just stay together. Just stay together, because after that first 2 years went by, my wife and I looked at each other and went, this is not that hard. We were making this hard.
Nice.
And stuff that comes up now that I can defuse her, she can defuse me. Two or 3 years ago was just a blow up.
So are you a good balance, or is she more even and you're more erratic?
I'm erratic all the time.
He's an entertainer.
I'm lucky to have the one I got. I can promise you that.
She's lucky
great
to have
having
you
you.
too.
Great having
You can catch Cody performing tonight at the Rustic, but stick around with us because he's actually going to be singing 2 songs from his latest CD, Cowboy Like Me, later in our show.
Awesome.
Coming up next, one of the most impressive fireworks shows in the country is right here in our own backyard, and we're getting all the details for this year's Kaboom Town when the broadcast returns.
Awesome.